So welcome back, guys, to this next part, and this time we will really jump into it and try to create our own product shot. I thought about something like this. So the rose gold iPhone, so we're creating the metal material. We will definitely need some textures for this shot, even though I don't think I can get this. Probably I can get this texture down here as well. We already created this Apple logo and the iPhone and this little S logo here. You just simply have to search on the internet for Apple logo and iPhone 6s logo, and then you just simply rip it off in Photoshop. So this is what I did here so far, but we still need to rip off a little bit more. And as I can see, I don't even have the S logo yet implemented, and I don't think that the iPhone logo here looks so original. So we might need to change this as well. So the first thing before we even start out with Cinema 4D, we need to jump into Photoshop, and I hope you bring some Photoshop skills with you, even though mine are not even that good. But I think they are good enough. So let's just simply drag and drop this in to Photoshop, and let's do a double click here since it's locked. Double click, okay, and we will get rid of this iPhone logo really quickly, or this iPhone letters here. Then we'll create a new layer, drop this down here. Let's switch this here to white. Let's take the, what is it called again, paint bucket tool, and we'll just simply do this here. And then we drop in the other thing that I have here, the iPhone 6s. You will get all the textures so you can follow along. You will even get the complete texture if you already know what to do in Photoshop and so on, so that you don't have to redo this maybe. Let's just simply click OK for now, place. And I will bring this up. Okay, perfect. And we can scale this down a little bit. And then we also need to bring, let's maybe make it like this. Okay. And we need to cut the S logo away. So let's just simply cut this quickly. Boom. Okay, edit, cut. Or maybe copy. It's fine with me as well. Edit. No, let's delete it. Whoops, let's delete it on this layer, sorry. Could not complete your request because a smart object. Okay, that's a smart object, so we have to convert this first. Smart objects, rasterize. Okay, now we should be able to delete it, yes. And now we can also place it, paste. Perfect. Now we can bring it down here. First of all, let's get the iPhone thingy here in place. And let me deactivate this layer so that the iPhone logo gets, those iPhone letters are really in the middle here. Yeah, somewhere around here. We can leave Photoshop open if we want to, and can change it later on if in the render it looks somehow off. Okay, so iPhone 6s, let's look at the reference picture. That's always a good idea probably. Might be even a little bit too big. Right now I think we can scale this down. The iPhone and the S logo, so let's select both layers, holding down Shift, Control T for scaling. And then we bring this down a little bit. Bring it back into place. Let's see that's aligned good. Okay, looking perfect. Okay, so I think we can save this for now. File save as. I maybe already have saved this in the training folder. Nope. There's just a backup file. I can delete this. Okay, so let's just save this as TIFF. TIFF is always the best for black and white values. So if you're saving your black and white maps for, I don't know, bump mapping, alpha map, diffuse maps, what do I know, everything that is black and white, or even color maps, I think TIFF is a really good format because it has the best black and white values to save. And so yeah, I think it's really good. Oh, okay. I think I already saved it, so I don't need to do it anymore. I just wanted to show you also a little bit this little workflow in Photoshop. I mean, it's not really something special. You just really jump on the internet, search for the things, cut them out, and then just put them together in a black and white map, and that's basically it. Because we will need an alpha later on, but you will see this in just a minute. What we also need, I think what is important, oh, and I don't wanna throw this here. Let's just make a new a new one, file new. Can't read new document preset files, okay, whatsoever. Let me just, okay, that's not working like this, of course not. First of all, I have to don't place, then I have to delete this, and then I just simply have to go to my desktop where you will find also a lot of GIFs floating around probably, yes. Love posting GIFs on Facebook and so on, so please. Yeah, what can I say? What can I say? Okay, so here we go. We can cut this out here. What we definitely need is some kind of this lens. Even thought this lens effect that it turns a little bit of blue. This is a special lens effect because the lens is also a little bit bended, and the glass is somehow special for lenses. So this is why you sometimes, when you look into a camera lens, this is not an effect that you would get if you would look into a normal window glass. This is something special, and then you get all kind of colors, sometimes blue, sometimes a little bit reddish, greenish, and so on and so on. This is just because of this kind of special glass. So instead of just simply trying to achieve this, I mean, I think in Octane it's a little bit easier than in V-Ray, but instead of playing around for hours and hours, we will just simply cut this out here, and yeah, just try to map this then onto the lens, and the end user will definitely see no difference. So that's really not a problem. And we also need this texture here for the light, or for the flash, for the camera flash. So let me cut this out here really quickly. Should be fairly easy. So let's take this, let's go edit, cut, file new, okay, edit, paste, and we'll just save it like that, maybe also deleting the background, okay, and file save as TIFF. So let's save this quickly, let's go to our right folder, ZeroToHero, become a 3D artist, and then here we go, TIFF first of all, and we will call this lens underscore text. Perfect. Discard layers and save a copy. We don't have any other layers right now, but if you wouldn't click this, the TIFF file would save also all the other layers, which sometimes can come in handy if you later on, if you're not happy with it and you want to later on change it in Photoshop and you have a lot of layers, you can save it with all the layers. It just simply takes up a little bit more space and takes every render engine a little bit longer to load this texture. If you're working on such small projects like this, a simple product shot, it doesn't really matter. When the things really become big and you have a really big scene, you definitely don't want to have such big files, because in the end this really is adding up a lot. Even though V-Ray and also Arnold are really capable of loading a lot of geometry, really loading a lot of geometry and things like that. I mean, it's really amazing what you can feed into V-Ray and Arnold without having them crashing with I don't know, billions of polygons and so on and so on. This is why those engines still get a lot used in Hollywood movies and so on. So they definitely have their place, and this is why we are also learning V-Ray, we are learning Arnold, and we will also be learning Octane. So I think it's necessary that you also know the basics of the older engines like V-Ray, because they are still important. They are still important like yesterday. Okay, so let's call this flash underscore text. Discard layers. Okay. And we should be good to go. Did I forget something? No. I think we have the back texture. We have the lens. We have the flash. And I think this should be it. I will leave Photoshop open for now. You know, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. So this model here is from my good friend Silverwing VFX. He just said I need to mention his name if I use this file. I mean, of course I will. So you can download this from my website. You can also visit his website. He has some cool models online that you can play around with. So this was the last model that he did. Let's just simply drag and drop it into Cinema 4D, or you can also go File, Open. We should leave this here as default, maybe micrometers. I did already check this out. And then we need to scale it down a little bit. So as you can see, it looks a little bit kind of weird. This is because we don't have a subdivision surface on it right now. If I go here, display garage shading lines, you can see, okay, we have here some hard edges, but the modeling is really, really good. So here you can see what he did, and I really, really love it. Modeling is absolutely fine. I think he even did model the screws on his own. I mean, this guy is just simply crazy when it's about modeling. Really, he is. And if you drop in here subdivision surface and we'll put this in here, you will see that everything is smoothed out and looks really great. So he did an absolutely awesome job with this phone. Looks absolutely smooth. So that's perfect, and that's exactly what we need and what we want. So we don't have to model the complete iPhone on our own. Because I think the rendering part, the modeling is really easy as soon as you jump in, but the texturing and lighting part and so on, lighting part can be a little bit different. Okay, first of all, let's get rid of all this texture. Just simply drag out this line, select all, and just click delete. Those are normal Cinema 4D textures right now. And I think we don't have the right scale. Let's take this outer geometry here while we are in model mode. And you can see this is right now 779 centimeters, which is not really, this would be the biggest iPhone ever. This would probably be the iPhone 6 Plus 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 Plus. And we don't really need this, so we need to scale this down. But first of all, let's get real-time value or real-world values here for this phone. Let me search them quickly. And we can find this right here on the Apple page, homepage itself. So it's 138.3 millimeters here in the lengths, and here in the width we have 67.11 millimeters. We don't have to be absolutely perfect here, but we should at least go close here to this value. So we're searching for 13.8. In the end, we have to select this complete or whole null object here to scale this down, and then we will always try to select here this outer thing, because this is really important, and bring this down here in size X to 13.8. So let's select the null again. Let's scale it down even more. Let's select this here again. Okay, we are at 18, which are really close already. 12. Okay, we've gone too far, so let's make it a little bit bigger. Click on this outer thing again. Still bigger. Outer thing again. 13.42, so really slow now. Let's look again. 13.487. Okay. Let's bring this here to 101%. Okay. Outer thingy, 13.62. Okay. Maybe 100.8. Let's check again. Oh, we are really, really close. Okay, and I think that's close enough. We are 13.731, so it's a little bit tiny smaller than the original. But like I said, this will really nobody ever recognize. I mean, we could scale this a little bit more, so 100.1 maybe, to get even a little bit closer here. Maybe we are now even too far. 13.744. Okay, let's scale it maybe even for another 0.1%. Kinda hard to do. Okay, here we go. Let's check again. Okay, let's do this once again. Or maybe let's go with 2%, and we're at 13.786. So let's scale it another time, so we're getting even a little bit closer. Check it out. 13.813. Doesn't really matter. Now we are really so close that nobody ever will recognize this. Okay, so first of all, we need to check. We always need. I mean, what comes really in handy is if you have a second screen, because I have a second screen that is a little bit turned to the side, so it's looking almost straight to me. Well, not really straight, but I can look really, really good at it. And then I can just simply bring this over to my second screen, look at it while I'm working, and really, really helps that you don't always have to drop this down and bring it up again and drop it down, bring it up again. It's just really good. Okay, it's on my second screen, so I can see what's going on, and this can really, really help, of course. I think one thing that I forgot, we need to rip. I really want to bring this picture in here as well, so we need to rip this off as well. So let's bring this picture quickly in. Let's jump to the desktop and let's open it up, and we will just get this here real quickly. And let me cut this out, and I think that's, maybe we even want to take with us this black line here around the picture. Okay. And let's just go edit, cut, file new. Okay, edit, paste. How does it look? Yeah, we also have a little bit of this. Doesn't really matter. That's absolutely fine. Everything is fine. So file save as TIFF, and we go here and let me check this quickly. Work E, ZeroToHero, and we will save this as BG, as in background, and this should be good enough for us. Alright, so let's jump back into Cinema 4D and let's bring this up here maybe a little bit. We could first of all just simply turn it. Let's go iPhone 6 object, bring this up, and we will first of all texture this phone here completely, and then we will just only duplicate it when everything is finished and turn it around. So I think the first thing we should start out with is a little shader. The good thing is on this phone that this phone is already UV unwrapped. So if I drop this texture here now, let me show this quickly. Just double click down here, Cinema 4D material color, which is basically the diffuse channel, and we load our iPhone back logo texture here, and we'll just drop it here onto the back. It should already be in place. And this is because Raphael did a UV unwrap, and what UV unwrap is basically doing is just you unwrap this complete geometry, roll it out, and then you can bring it into Photoshop and tell exactly Photoshop where the texture needs to be. And right here it looks already pretty good, so it's perfectly in place. If you don't want to UV unwrap that, another method is of course cubic mapping. You can just simply go cubic here. As you can see now, we have a lot of repetitions here, and it's also aligned in the wrong way, but this doesn't matter for now. And then we can just simply scale this up. Scale this up as well. Turn it around, go to coordinates. Let's turn it for 180 degrees, sorry. And then we can go scaling again. Bring it a little bit. With this offset we can also work, so left and right and up and down on the other button. Then we can scale it again. Whoop. Bring it over here before we lose it. Before it goes out of the screen or out of the phone. Do it like this. Now let's bring it into place maybe. Bring it up here. Something like this. Something like this. And maybe let's give it a value of 800 here. And a value of 800 here. So it's perfectly scaled, and then we just simply bring it in place. And this should be it. Maybe not perfectly in the middle right now, but you get the idea what you can do with cubic mapping. And we don't have, because it's so big, we don't have any repetitions here on the sides or anywhere else, which is really important for us as well. But as you can see, you can also do this with cubic mapping if you want to. But I will just simply bring this back to UV mapping because this was perfectly unrolled already. Bring all those values back to zero, so zero them out by just simply right clicking on those little arrows, and we have our logo and everything looks perfect. UV unwrapping is definitely also a topic that I will show you later on that you might need at some point. I always try to avoid it as much as I can because I think the UV mapping section in Cinema 4D is really one of the worst things. UV mapping is kind of hard. I mean, if you know what you do, you can definitely get along with it. Which I do as well, but I don't really like it. So I really try to avoid it as much as I can. So as soon as cubic mapping works for me, or maybe flat mapping, I most of the time go with that instead of UV mapping. But I just wanted to show you how you can do it quickly. Okay, so let's delete this because this is a Cinema 4D material and we need a V-Ray material. So first of all, let's prepare V-Ray. Go V-Ray bridge. Let's activate it for now. Multipass we will need later on to see how we can terminate our noise in the scene. Control D, linear workflow off. This is always something that we should do right in the beginning when we're working with V-Ray. And so yeah, let's create our first shader. Let's go create shader VReBridge advanced material. And we will load here in the diffuse layer the map that we just had. So diffuse layer is basically the color channel in the normal Cinema 4D material. This image is not in a project third page. Do we want to create a copy at the project location? No, not right now. And material weight is basically the alpha. And what the alpha does, it just simply cuts away all the white parts and will only keep the black parts. So let's go color map, load image. We load the exact same image here. And as you can see, what's happening is we are only left with the black parts. And this is exactly what we want. We don't want to have anything else on the back. And because the thing is, let me explain this quickly. We need to achieve a certain look. As you can see, the back here is some kind, I mean, it's rose gold, it's some kind of a blurry metal material, but the Apple logo is really some kind of shiny material, and also the iPhone logo on the back is some kind of shiny logo. This is just how they did it. So the iPhone logo and the iPhone letters, and also I think the S thing that is down here is a little bit of shiny and looks a little bit different. So we need to bring this in, or at least I think the Apple logo is shiny. I'm not even sure about the iPhone thing down here. This might be just also a little bit of a blurry metal, but in a different color. So yeah, let's check it out if everything is glossy, so the letters and the logo, and the rest not, and then let's just see how this looks. So what we can do now, since this is just black now, and this is exactly what we need for metal, so you need to make sure that this is black, because normally we would check here the diffuse color, we would turn this down to black, but in this case we have loaded a map, but this map is also 100% black, so that's perfect for us. So we go specular layer 1, we only have to do this, turn this on, bring the Fresnel IOR up to maybe 10, bring the glossiness down maybe for now to something like 0.68, so that's really blurry, and then we only have to bring in some kind of rose gold color, maybe something like this already. Let's check this out, how this looks now. Sorry, and I also did a mistake. This needs to be the shiny part, right? So we need to leave this up at maybe 0.99 so that this gets really, really shiny. And then we just simply duplicate this material, so holding down Control key. Or let me first of all call this iPhone logo before we do this. iPhone logo. You should always try to name your stuff, you know? I mean, it's just really simpler later on. And let's duplicate this by holding down Control, drag and drop. And then we call this iPhone blurry metal. And we will just simply get rid of the maps and turn the diffuse layer here, since we don't have a map anymore, the color here to completely black. Get rid of the map and the material weight as well. And I think we could even achieve this here. No, it's not good. Okay, forget about it. Just had an idea and did instantly get rid of it. And now we have the same color here, because we did already change this. We can change this here to white since it's metal, but I think Blin is just fine for now. And we bring this down here, the reflection glossiness, maybe to 0.68. And that's perfect. And now what's happening is we have this material, so we have the logo, which is glossy, and then we have the normal back material. The problem is I can't map on the same object both things. So if I drop this here now, I have the background color. So I have the blurry metal color, but I don't have the logo on it. And as soon as I drop the logo on it here as well, the only thing that's happening is that this always gets overwritten by the next texture tag. So if this is here the last one, then always this will be rendered. And if I switch this, always this will be rendered here. Okay, so we can't use both at once. It's just simply not possible. So what we can do here, and what is really, really helpful for us, is we will just simply create a shader, VReBridge blend material. And as our base material, we will of course use our blurry metal, because this is our base material. And as code material, we will use this alpha map that we created here, so our logo. and then this will be mapped over it with some kind of glossiness. So all we can do is now just take this blend material, drop it on here, and let's maybe just for preview purposes, let's create an area light really quickly. Drop a V-relight on it, enable shadows, area light. Let's bring this up maybe to 128 here. Let's go dome, spherical dome, use texture, and we load our old HDRI. If I still have it somewhere, I think I have. Not here, maybe here, no, maybe here. Yes, here it is. So it's the same old HDRI that we did use before, texture resolution to 3800. Let's jump in and bring this to sRGB. Okay, perfect. And now we can just make a quick render. Let me also enable GI for now. Let's load a medium preset in brute force path tracing. And color mapping, everything should be fine. Yes. Anti-aliasing is not really important right now. We can leave this like this. Let's maybe bring it up to 0.03 and bring this down here to 10. So we get a quicker preview. And let me drop the phone also into a subdivision surface for now. Okay. And let's make a quick test render just to see what we get. Okay, before I want to make a test render, I really want to save the file. I don't want to have anything crashed, or I will really, I don't know, freak out, I guess. So iPhone product shot, and I will just simply save this here as iPhone. Yes. Okay, perfect. So now we can render without maybe having the issue to run into a crash. You never know. So yeah, let's maybe make the HDRI already a little bit brighter. Let's bring this up to 3 here. And let's go. So I will just pause the video and show this to you as soon as it has. Okay, sorry, my computer did crash in the meanwhile, but at least I had saved everything, so it's not really a problem. So you can see this is how it looks right now. I mean, there's just really a really weird reflection on this right now, as you can see. So this is why it looks we have some kind of bump mapping or displacement mapping going on this thing. So this is probably not the best map to use right now, but at least you can see what's going on. And also here the iPhone logo doesn't really get reflected right now because we can't see it because it doesn't catch any light or any reflection. This is why it's simply not there right now. So what we need to do now is just simply continue texturing. We need to look a little bit what else do we need, and let me delete this slide for now. Let me open up my preview window, and not really preview window, just into this picture here, and then we can see what else we need. We need for sure on the back here the flashlight, we need the lens, we need some kind of white, and we need some kind of glossy material, probably the same material that we did use for the logo here, for the button, and maybe for some other parts. So this is what we will be doing now. So let's go create shader, or maybe let's just simply duplicate this iPhone logo here, and let's call this glossy rose gold, and we will just get rid of the logo here and also the logo here, turn this here to complete black, and we already should have our glossy material. And then we can start to texturing around a little bit. The good thing about Raphael's workflow is also that he already did name all the stuff properly. So as you can see here, we have some rough parts, some shiny parts, so we know where to our glossy or shiny metal should go and where not, and so on and so on. So this is pretty cool. Even though he did render, I think, the black iPhone, we will go with the rose gold one, so a little bit of the stuff will be different. We need definitely some kind of white plastic material for this. So we will create one, create shader VRBridge advanced material, and you already should know by now how to make a plastic material. So let's call this plastic white. Diffuse layer can see white. Maybe let's even bring this up to 95. Let's maybe bring it up to 90 for now. Specular layer on, we will go for 1.56 for now, and leave it like at 0.97 maybe, something around this. And let's up here the gloss and subdivisions as well to 64 for now. Let's do this for all the materials that we created, so we have a little bit a better base with less noise introduced right from the beginning. This can't hurt. And what we can do also in Cinema 4D, we don't always have to find the right thing here. We can just simply drag and drop the materials that we want. So if I know this is white, I'm just simply taking my plastic white material, drag and drop it onto this space, and as you can see, already gets applied. And this can come in pretty handy and makes the workflow even a little bit faster. I think this here on the side is also some kind of, this button here is not shiny, it should also be blurred, I guess. Let me just try to get this here. Doesn't seem to work right now, and I have no clue why. We are in model mode. Yes, let me select this button here, Cinema 4D. Come on, be nice. Oh, maybe because of the subdivision surface. Let's get rid of the subdivision surface. Let's try it now. Yes, now it's working. Button R space gray. Okay, it should be gray on the black iPhone. Here it should be rose gold. So we just simply taking our blurry rose gold material, drop it off here, do the exact same thing for this down here. So we could just drag and drop. Perfect. Let's do the exact same thing here for the side buttons, which we will not really see. At least we will not see the space that is inside here, but we will still make this also rose gold. What did I do now? Did I do something stupid? I don't hope so. No. Okay, perfect. Then let's drop it on here. And as you can see, there's this little space, so we need to drop it on here as well. Everything that is still gray is not textured, so bear this in mind. Okay. Okay, perfect. Here this ring should definitely be glossy, so we're dropping our glossy material on here. The button itself should be white, I guess, yes. So we're dropping our plastic white material on here. The rest should also be glossy white, I guess, here in the front. So we'll drop this on here. And for the display, we will load our texture. So let's go create shader VRBridge advanced material and call this BG logo. No, it's not really a logo. Let's call it just simply BG. So background. Let's go load image, and we will be loading our image, of course, that we did rip off before. And let's bring this here to the display. And that looks not really good UV unwrapped, to be honest. Maybe it's not UV unwrapped, so let's just bring this here to cubic. And let's see if we can align this here a little bit better. So let's make this first of all bigger, that's for sure. Make it bigger here. Bring it a little bit better into place. Maybe something like this, so we can still see a little bit of space around the display. Bring it up. Okay, let's just stretch it out like this. Bring it a little bit down. Yes. Let's move this. Okay, perfect. Maybe even, let's bring to 600. Let's bring it into place. Yes. Okay, I think that's fine. Now let's look at this. Yeah, that's definitely fine. Okay, perfect. Should look good. And we did forget this edge here. Is this edge still white? I guess so, right? No, it's not. I think it's rose gold. Okay, so let's drop some rose gold on here. Perfect. And did I forget something here? Yes. Not good. Let's texture this as well. Okay, then we have some parts down here. Let's see. And there's also one screw missing. Why is one screw missing? Let's just simply select this screw here. Control, drag and drop. And we'll bring it over here. Okay, perfect. So we have our second screw. Screws and things like that, I don't even know what kind of texture they have. Let me check on my phone. Just simply silver, something like that. I mean, we won't see, as we will see a little bit something here. I think it's some kind of silver grayish down here. I mean, at least this is what it looks like here on this picture, but I can't really see it, to be honest. So we need to look for another reference image. But I think, I mean, that's not really important. If you would really work for a client now, of course we would search and check it out, but I don't think it's really that important right now. So I think we can make here some kind of grayish metal material, some kind of silver, but a little bit darker. So let's bring this down here to black, new advanced material, specular layer on, bring this here to 10, give it here some kind of silverish color, something like this maybe, a little bit darker, bring this down here to 0.68 for now, glossiness subdivisions up, and we could use this here for our screws. And for this part here, so for the loading area, then here also for the jacket, headphone jacket, which we don't have anymore with the iPhone 7, but I definitely will not buy it. This is, by the way, even the first one iPhone I ever bought. This is just because I lost my Nokia Windows phone in the taxi, which was absolutely awesome. It was an awesome night. Woke up with €100 less in my pocket and without phone. This was definitely a night to remember. Anyway, complete different story. Sorry about that. And I think those parts are really black, you know, this gutter that is in there. And also here in the front, this is really, really black, as we can see here. So we also will make some kind of, let's say black plastic material. So let's go advanced material, make this here really black, bring this up here maybe. Oh, this was a specular layer. Sorry about that. We need to go diffuse black, and let's maybe turn this up here to 90. Give it some kind of reflection. I mean, just, I don't know. We will see this later on if it looks good or not. Let's bring it down maybe to 0.9, so it's not so completely fully reflective. Maybe even a little bit more, 0.8 maybe. Yeah, might look good. And also give it already some subdivisions, sorry. 64. And there's, by the way, also a way, if we have here 64 and it's still, everything looks extremely noisy and we know that the noise comes from the material itself, what we can do instead of jumping into every single material and up it to 128, 128, and so on, we can just simply go here, we rebridge, and in the anti-aliasing, we have, in the DMC sampler, sorry, we have global subdiv multiplier. So when we set this here to 2, everything should go up from 64 to 128. So this can come in pretty handy if you have, I don't know, a ton of materials going on because you have so many objects and so many different materials and you still have some noise and you don't want to jump into every single one. This really can help. Okay, so let's make this gutter here black, and here we also, oh, I think I forgot to rip off also the front lens. We need to do this as well in Photoshop. Let me start up Photoshop first of all. In the meanwhile, sometimes it takes a little bit to load here. And then let's make this gutter down here black as well, even though we won't see this whatsoever. But yeah, it can't hurt. And there are still a lot of other objects that Raphael has here that we will just not see in our render, or that are maybe on the inside, or what do I know. So that's definitely not necessary to texture all of them. I think we need some kind of plastic material here in the back as well. No, we need some kind of glossy. Okay, we need some kind of glossy material here for this outer ring. So let's drop here some glossy material on this outer ring. And then the rest, yeah, it's just black and this lens. So this is the lens, this should turn black. So we will drop our black material on this thing here. And then we'll create our lens texture, advanced material, go diffuse, load image, go for our lens, yes, here it is. And make this, of course, really glossy, so 1.6 we should definitely turn on our specular layer, because this should behave somehow like glass, and I think normal glass is at 1.6 pretty much, So we can just simply leave it at that, and this will give us somehow a little bit of a glass look if you look at this. And the color that should be emulating this lens we're getting from the texture anyway. So this looks already pretty nice, and we can definitely bring this through as a lens in our final render. So we'll just simply drop this here. Might even be a little bit too big. Yes, I think it's too big. Let's click on this object here and let's disable it for now from the viewport, and let's see what's down there. Okay, so this is the lens. So this should be black as well. This thing here should be black as well. This outer ring here. So let's drop this on here, and here should be the lens. So let's drop the lens on here. And let me bring this back up. And this should then just simply be normal glass, I guess. So let's create normal glass, shader, Vero Bridge, advanced material, or maybe some kind of plexiglass. I'm not sure. Let's try it with plexiglass first. So diffuse layer off, specular layer on, refraction layer on. So let's bring this down maybe to 1.56 here, and also here 1.56, and glossiness up this to 64, and reflection glossiness down to 0.99 for now. And we will drop this glass on here. Perfect, and here we have the flashlight. Let's also check this out, how this looks. Okay, this is all flashlight. Maybe around it a little silver ring. I can't even tell, to be honest. Let me look into this. Okay, there are also those two lights modeled. I don't think we need to do this. We just have to drop our texture onto this object and be fine. This is not because I'm lazy, because you just simply need to know what you can get away with. And I really, for this render, I don't need to see what's going on there, you know, down there, because this texture will be more than enough. So specular layer on, and this is really now some kind of plastic, that's for sure. So we have to go down here maybe, let's go here 1.56 and bring this down to 0.86 maybe. But this should still give us enough reflection, and bring this up here to 64. Okay, and let's drop it on here. And that's also not perfectly UV unwrapped. Okay, no, I can't really tell if this is UV unwrapped, because we need to drop it here on this spot. No, it's not. Okay, we have to bring this to cubic mapping and make this a little bit better. Right now it's too big, so we need to make it smaller. Let's maybe go with 40-40 for now. Maybe even lower, 30-30. Lower, 20-20. And let's try to bring it into place, something like this. And let me activate the subdivision surface for now, because otherwise I don't see the rounding as good. Okay, let's bring it up a little bit. I think we can live with that, not 100% sure. Let's maybe make it here a little bit bigger. Let's maybe bring it here to 25. Perfect. I think that's good. Maybe make it here a little bit smaller in the width. Bring it up. No, that was not a good idea. Let's bring it back up to 20. Bring it down here a little bit. And I think we can get away with that. Okay, perfect. So we have this here in place as well. So what we need is the front camera. So let's open up our picture again. Oh, I think I have this on the desktop lying around, to be honest. Somewhere around here, yes. And we can rip off the front lens. Since it's really tiny small, we don't need a high resolution texture, because we won't really go up close. I don't even know if we really need to rip here anything off. I mean, the quality would be just too low. We just need to know, okay, there's a black ring and then inside there is a little lens. So I think we will just simply do that. Let me take this here. Oh, I need to get rid of the subdivision surface, otherwise I can't select this. Deactivate and see what's going on here. Okay, we have down here the lens, so we'll just simply take the same lens material that we did take for the back. Maybe make this here a little bit smaller. So let's maybe make this cubic and make it really small, like 10-10 or something like that. Maybe we need to go even smaller. Let's go 5-5 maybe. Let's go 1-1. Okay, now we're getting really small here. Okay, let's go 2-2. Okay, and 2.2 is already too big enough, too big already. Again, maybe let's just simply try it with a different method. Let's go 100, 100. Try it with flat. Try it with cylindrical, spherical. Let's just go with UV mapping. I think this should be just fine, really. We shouldn't worry about it too much. And is there a little ring? I don't think there's a little ring, so we just have to put glass over it. So we'll just drop our glass material on here, and this should be fine. And this here should also turn black. I think this is this little hole, and this should really be a hole, I think. Or is this the camera? No, this is the camera, right? Oh, I'm completely wrong. No. This is the camera, and this should be just for speaking. So I think this is a little bit of an issue, so we can take this and push this a little bit more in, maybe. Where's my move tool, by the way? Hello, move tool. Oh, the axes are completely somewhere else. So let's go, when we have selected this, let's go mesh, axis center, center, axis 2. And as you can see, we get this clipping issue here again. So let's go Control D, and let's change the clipping here to small. And let's push this in here a little bit, something like this, okay? And let's make this black. Let's turn on the subdivision surface, let's see if everything still looks fine. It does. And there is, oh, now the lens is coming through, so we have to push this a little bit out. Whoopsie poop. Let's deactivate the subdivision surface for now, otherwise this is really messing up. Let's activate it again. Okay, looking good. Perfect. Is this textured as well? Yes, inside is textured, okay. Our display should be fine. Front picture, the ring is textured, button is textured, the sides are textured, those lines are textured, flashlight is, this here inside is textured, the lens is textured, our back camera, and down here everything is textured. So we should be ready to go, to be honest. I mean, there are still a lot of other parts that are not textured right now, but as you can see, we are not seeing those, so it doesn't really matter to us. This is somewhere inside the phone. Let's maybe get this part here out and see what kind of part this is. It's a little tiny anything that is on the inside, so we don't really need this. We really don't need to do this. This is all we have to do. And yeah, in the next part, we will just simply duplicate this, set up some basic lighting, and see that we can get as close as possible, or make a little bit a different product shot for us that also looks absolutely stunning. I mean, this is important for us. It needs to look stunning and appealing to the client, that's for sure. And so yeah, in the next part, we will start with all the lighting process and setting up a little bit of a studio setup here inside of this in our 3D application, Cinema 4D in this case, and it will be really fun. So I hope you learned a little bit something in this part, and in the next part we will definitely put everything we learned so far to the test. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you soon.